Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Bad Moon's Orbit. I am, as always, your Fusel Major, Dalton Montgomery.
And I'm Darian Smart, and I have a little dog in my lap today.
Ooh, that's the most important thing to be.
Yes, I thought our listeners would like to know. You can't see him, and I won't bother to spend too much time on it, but you should know right now there is a very small dog who is very happy sitting with.
Yeah, welcome everybody to another episode. We are back again today talking about the cities of Sigmar, and today we are talking about the cities of Sigmar.
Yeah, the actual locations,
yeah.
The places.
This is part 2 of our discussion on cities of Sigmar. First part was talking about the broad strokes, right? Like, what does it look like, the average person in a city of Sigmar? What is the philosophy? What is the promise of, even from like a bird's eye perspective of, if you are interested in this faction, what can you expect from it?
Mm-hmm.
And so today we're going to talk about like what would normally, I think, be almost a like famous faces or a sub-factions episode like we did with Lumineth.
Yeah.
I think because so much of the identity of the cities of Sigmar is tied into the cities themselves, this is kind of like part 1 of our famous faces. Each of the cities, I would argue, is kind of a character in their narrative. Like, the cities have their own, I mean, like any cultural like block, they have their own identity in such a way that it really does feel like they get characterization on like a broad scope in much the same way that an individual character would. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
New York is the 6th character.
Say, yeah, absolutely. But before we get into that, Darian, do you have I know what our game thing's going to be this week. If you want to start us off.
Hey, I beat Dalton at Flamecraft.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting.
We played the game Flamecraft, which is a cute little dragon game for a bonus episode for one of the other podcasts I do. And I won, and I never beat Dalton at games, especially when it's a Dalton game, and Flamecraft is very much a Dalton game, and so it was close, y'all. It was real close. By the skin of my teeth. But I also got to play a really fun game that I've wanted to play with you for a long time. So I'm glad we finally got to play Flamecraft together. But also I won. And it made me very happy that I wanted a game I liked.
Flamecraft was a hoot. If you're not familiar with it, it's very much a like Wingspan adjacent type game. So if that's a game that interests you.
Wingspan for people who don't like Wingspan. Hello, I'm people.
Yeah, definitely give it a look. It's a fun game. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Okay, so what is your thing then?
What I thought you were going to mention is that we and everyone else in the whole world have been playing a lot of Phocopia.
No, I wanted to brag about beating you at Wingspan. But yeah, shit, never mind. Fuck Flamecraft. Hey y'all, are you playing Phocopia? It's the best. I'm so happy that in the month of March, while there are unimaginable man-made horrors that are just destroying the world, I get to play a fun little game building houses for cute little creatures.
It's been a real joy. I've been the breadth of a game like this. Like, it's so rare, I feel like, to have a game where like I'll pick it up and I'll play it, and there will be things that I'm like focused in on and I'm excited to do, and then I can hand it off to Darian, and there will be entirely other things that they're like focused on and excited to do. And both of those are like equally a point of the game.
Yes,
right.
That is so good. I don't own a Switch 2, and so I was very bummed out when I found out that this game was going to be Switch 2 exclusive. Which, like, it makes sense. That's the part of the console life cycle where they're not going to do for the old things anymore. But I was so jazzed when Dalton's like, "Oh, well, we can play together a multiplayer mode on mine," and that was the plan initially. But I forgot to charge my Switch the night before, and so instead we just developed we just play the game, and then when Dalton's like, "All right, I need to go do another, I gotta meet dinner," I get the controllers. I'm like, "I'm gonna build a house for Pikachu. Sprigatito needs a place to live. I accidentally flooded Pidge's house and I can't fix it."
I got the most panicked Facebook Messenger message while I was at work of just like, I flooded Pidgey's house. What do I do?
It was mostly like, I knew you were at work and probably weren't going to be able to tell me. I just felt so deeply guilty about what I had done. I needed to confess it to you immediately because I wasn't sure I could fix it before you came home.
Oh, no.
It's so figured out. It's fine. I couldn't. Y'all don't need to hear about it. It's fine. If you're not playing Phocopia and you have a Switch 2, what are you even doing with your life?
It's real good.
If you don't have a Switch 2, like, obviously, don't go spend $500 just like this.
Certainly
the
not.
economy?
Yeah.
No. That's not listen, unless you're in a place where you could just do that, like,
Yeah.
but don't do it if you couldn't make like
no,
if
for
you
sure.
could.
For sure.
Like, if you've been thinking about it, it's worth it. But we don't need us to tell you that. Everyone on the internet's already told you that.
I was gonna say, real sleeper hit. Like,
right?
yeah.
Like, I knew I was going to have fun, but I didn't think I was going to adore it. I wasn't prepared for the whole internet to be like, this is my... I just was scrolling down Insta before we started recording, just like lulling, and the 4 different Pocopia videos, all about different things. Like people doing funny bits, being in the world, people talking about their friends playing it and them not playing it, people talking about like, this is... One gal was like, okay, I don't want to get overwhelmed, so here's my strategy for getting it so I don't get like decision paralysis. And I'm like, good for you, babes.
It's just, like I said, real home run swing. Like, what a deal.
Yeah, they did a good job.
They did a good job.
It's everything. I realized why I've never felt like I really loved Pokemon, even though I play Pokemon Go literally every day and I enjoy Pokemon immensely, but I've never felt like I could say like, yeah, I'm a big Pokemon fan. Because I realized I don't like battling.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why I've never like, the only Pokemon game I ever finished was Blue Mystery Dungeon. But like, I realized I really don't like that mechanic. I don't enjoy it. All I want to do is collect the Pokemons and see the cute monsters and hang out with my little Pokemon friends. And that's what Pocopia is. And it's the dream.
Hell yeah.
For me.
Hell yeah.
Let's talk about the city's Sigmar, I think.
Yeah, let's talk about that's what we're here to talk about today. Cities
Yeah.
of Sigmar. So, like I said, if you haven't listened to the first episode, we did a lot of the like big picture stuff there. Yeah, that's really the setup for this episode. We're not going to spend much time on the like kind of broad strokes. We're just going to dive into the identity of each of the big cities.
By and large, you can definitely just jump into any episode of this podcast because of like the way you structure the material. Like folks are the idea is like someone who's like interested in the show ideally could just jump into whatever like their favorite faction is, and that's going to be an entry point, and that usually works great. If you're here like, it's the most recent episode, I should start here, you should definitely start at the part 1 episode of this particular one. Unless you don't want to, in which case thank you for joining us. So let's jump right into the cities. We have to start with Hammerhal. I have said it Hammerhal forever. That's not how it's said. It's Hammerhal, which it only has the one L. Okay.
Hammerhal, we brought up last episode because it's the city for the most part. Like, there isn't really a capital. The cities don't hold territory in the way that would make that like meaningful. But Hammerhal is, if a city was going to be the capital, it would be Hammerhal.
That makes sense.
It is the largest human settlement in the setting. At least outside of Azir. I'm not actually sure whether Azyrheim is larger, because Azyrheim is the capital of Azir, but there's no like risk or threat on Azyrheim.
Yeah.
And so it's like I don't know if it counts. And I don't know if it's bigger, because maybe it's not particularly big anymore because everyone's like moving out to the realms. Like, just genuinely don't know. Does not count as one of the cities of Sigmar. So, because those are very specifically the like reclamation effort. Yeah. But Hammerhal. So Hammerhal's big thing is that it is split into the 2 sides, right? So we're going to talk about them separately because they are functionally like separate cities. Okay. They're just cities that are like weirdly nested inside each other. It's not even a because like we live in Boise, we live in the like greater Boise metro area. There's a street between Boise and Meridian, right? Yeah, or like Caldwell, Nampa, like everything's just kind of blends together after like a certain
Boise,
point.
Garden City, Boise again.
Yep. It's not even at that situation, because how they are split is that there is a huge realm gate right in the middle of both cities, and so the very innermost part of both cities is where the other city is, like right in the middle. Like, so yeah, the movement between the 2 cities is fascinating because it means that, unlike kind of like a traditional city layout, like cities tend to have like their important buildings and stuff near the center, just as a like
you build it there and things spread out from it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a necessary just element, or not necessary, but just like a natural element of like how cities develop, right? By extension, that means that you start to lose identity of a city like the further you get away from it, as it blends into other settlements and stuff. And it's literally the opposite for Hammerhal.
Interesting.
Where, well, it is still like there's still a bunch of important stuff near the center of each of the cities, but it is, you can be at the absolute like cultural center of Hammerhal Aksha and immediately be in the absolute cultural epicenter of Hammerhal Gyra. Yeah. Right? So let's start with Aksha. Aksha is the actual like de facto biggest one. It's much bigger than Hammerhal Gyra. It is on the Akshi side of the gate. That's why it's called that. And the Storm Rift Gate, which is the massive gate in the middle of them, is just a gate between Hammerhal and between Akshi and Gyran, right? So Hammerhal Aksha is a lot of cities' aesthetic is specifically Hammerhal Aksha's aesthetic. So when you see art of cities, it's often people in Hammerhal Aksha colors. A lot of the modernization of the military that happened under First Marshal Talia Vedra originated out of Hammerhal Aksha because she is the First Marshal of Hammerhal Aksha specifically. And she, like I said, spearheaded the okay, we're going to mass produce our armaments and stuff. We're going to train people in stuff that's very quick to pick up. Not everyone's going to be a specialist. Everyone's going to be able to do the same thing reliably. Yeah. Right. That kind of standardization more towards a modern military thing. And that all happened and is reflective of Hammerhal Aksha's thing. It's an industrial hub. Aksha, the realm of Akshi, right, is passionate. You get the high tempers is a thing that's often indicative of people who live on and grow up in Akshi, but also
because fire.
Yeah. But also arts and creativity and innovation, right? It's the kind of change thing a little bit. Or not change, because change is more Shaman's thing. But investment in stuff, the passion. Like I said, passion is really the word for it.
Creation?
Yeah. Passion for creation, passion for experimentation, understanding, right? Like I said, great warriors and great artists are kind of the Akshi thing. And so you get a lot of industry out of Hammerhal Aksha. It has all of the benefits of a supermassive city, right? The statement is that if you can't find it in Hammerhal Aksha, it doesn't exist. Ooh. And that's people, that's items, that's techniques, that's anything you could think of, both just because of its size and because people are constantly innovating, thinking of new things, collaborating. But being a supermassive city also carries its risks, right? Any big enough group of people together is going to have, again, the entire swath of human experience, right? Hammerhal actually is almost typified by the fact that you can have huge, noble palaces or industrial sectors or these huge sweeping innovations, construction projects, personal holdings and stuff next to slums, next to literal still extant medieval style architecture. Damn. Just huge chunks of the city that have never been updated since they were originally built, right next to the iron weld arsenals, experimentation labs, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And the like I said, the interactions of people that go with that, both on the level of experience, like I said, literal Azyrheim nobility or Akshian nobility, even people who are leadership out in Akshi who have since come to the city for safety, and they don't maintain that noble status because they're operating under a new political system, but they still bring those resources with them. So they're building or they're acquiring or they're buying or whatever, business magnates, but also the melting pot of culture of Akshi is a huge trade, or Hammerhal Akshi is a huge trade center. It's a huge place for people to come and collaborate and work on ideas together. And so the if there can even be such a thing as an average scene in Hammerhal Aksha, it is the huge market square. It's something out of a D&D module where you've got if you could almost picture the market square where there's a Sylvaneth over here negotiating with an ogre and a couple humans crowd around and people from all walks of life.
And eclectic.
Yes, absolutely. People from all walks of life all kind of not even unified, but just together in Hammerhal Aksha. It's not even correct to call it a melting pot because whatever cultural homogeny, just its identity as Hammerhal Aksha exhibits, that is drowned in just the sheer number of people. If anything, the discordance is part of Hammerhal Aksha's identity.
It's a stew.
Yeah.
A melting pot, it would be all the things actually melt together and become one thing.
Yes.
A stew is still all of the things it is just together now.
Yes.
Cool.
In more recent times, especially after Vedra's reformations to the military thing, Hammerhal Aksha has become renowned for most of the big iron weld arsenals are located in Hammerhal Aksha.
Oh,
those
nice.
are the innovators, the inventors who are making war machines and tanks and even small scale aircraft and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of that originates out of Hammerhal Aksha. And Hammerhal actually now has the record for like most successful Dawnbringer crusades.
Hey,
Like,
great.
yeah, because of, like I said, those military reforms that like we can standardize this, we can set them out at like regular intervals, we can train people to work well as groups.
Systemization.
Yeah, systemization, absolutely. The big kind of note for Hammerhal Aksha is that recently in lore, and we're going to talk about this more in detail when we talk about Talia in the next episode when we talk about famous faces, is that it has undergone, I almost want to call it like, for a long time, Hammerhal Aksha was specifically the shining example of like, we can do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it is one of the first cities founded when the gates opened back up from Azyr. It is one of the first places that became like a permanent established settlement. And for a long time, the official like colors of Hammerhal Aksha were Azyrian blue and gold. It was like, this is our first outpost. This is our first. It wasn't literally the first, kind of, because Hammerhal Gyro was the first. But this is our like, this is the shining example of what life can be like in the realms again if we win.
Yeah.
Right. And recently, it's still kind of that, but under Talia, the official colors of the city have changed from Azyrian blue and gold to Akshian red and gold.
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
Absolutely. Talia is realmborn. She's very proud of the fact that she's realmborn, and she has a vision of the reclamation efforts not as the like pseudo-colonialist thing that they are under Azyrian leadership of like, we're going to reclaim the realms, that's a thing that we lost, and more of a, people still live here. And we're going to make the realms safe for them. We're going to like, I am Akshian before I'm like of Sigmar. And that is the thing I'm going to bring to the forefront of this campaign, to this like reform.
That's very good.
And so Hammerhal has,
I like her.
Right, Talia's great. Hammerhal actually has morphed from, like I said, a beacon of like specifically Sigmar's, like, or not even Sigmar's, because Sigmar I feel like is closer to Talia than he is to a lot of like the Azyrian born. Like Sigmar's the god of cooperation, he's the god of civilization. Like, and he wants people to be, we talked in the last episode about like faith, right? How like lots of different cults of the Unforgotten still practice flagellation, or they practice like these kind of weird niche versions of like Sigmar worship that he doesn't condone, but is unwilling to correct them on. And I like to think that he is probably closer to Talia and the idea of like, no, it's not conquest, it's not colonialism. We are just making everything safe so that people can like live again. But like the Azyrians under him are viewing it as like a noble, like we're swooping in to save the day, because that's a very human instinct, especially humans who did not grow up in a lot of conflict, right? Like,
oh, interesting. Humans who did not have a lot of conflict maybe view things differently than folks who actually live in those spaces do. Weird. Interesting.
Like I said, we talked about the Great Divide last episode, but it's most present in Hammerhal Aksha. Like, and I think that's a very interesting creative decision from like the writing team to take what has also historically been like this is the big city for like cities players, for like people interested in the setting, like this is our shining city on a hill, and be like, actually it is like undergoing a cultural shift here because of the reactions of the people who are actually making up the bulk of these like sacrifices, taking these actions. And that's great. I'm a big fan of that.
Here's a fun game I'd like to play for this episode. If I was in Hammerhal Aksha, and I was like, I'm gonna get a bite to eat. What kind of food do you think I would find there?
Oh, 100 million options. It is.
Hold on.
That's the thing.
Yes. I guess more like, that's fair. Because as long as that's not the answer for every single one.
No.
Okay, cool. So anything I want.
It's very much the, you've been to New York.
I've been to New York.
It's the, like, what time of day it is? Is it where in the city are you? Is the answer, because you will be able to find versions of basically anything, but like you would be able to go up to someone on the streets of Hammerhal Aksha and be like, hey, I'm really craving, like, do you know anyone here who makes kind of traditional Thondian like food? And they'd be like, yeah, man, there's a guy with a cart like 3 streets down who's from Thondia and his family moved here and he's like raises his own like beef for the thing. That's where you're gonna get the best like version of that. Like that is Hammerhal Aksha in a nutshell.
Excellent.
But yeah, so that's Hammerhal Aksha. Like I said, a lot of what's really interesting about Hammerhal Aksha I want to roll into the Talia episode.
Yes,
or
it
into the Talia
honestly
discussion,
sounds like
because,
she is the most interesting part of it.
She's great. I really like Talia. She's super interesting. She's only kind of recently the first marshal, and that's an interesting story in of itself. But we're going to save that for the Famous Faces episode when we talk about
something.
Talia.
Hey, that's called listener retention.
Yeah. In the meantime, we'll pass through the Stormrift Gate, and we're going to talk about Hammerhal Gyra.
What's it like to pass through a storm gate?
Nothing.
Okay.
It's a tesser. Realm gates are literally just like these two places in space are like pressed together. So you literally walk through the Stormrift Gate, and it's like walking through a door.
Okay.
Like,
there's no sensation. There's no just. What does it look like?
It's completely massive. I can find a picture of that one.
Please.
It's utterly like unbelievably massive.
Because they're usually not that big, right?
No, yes. That's part of what makes it interesting and why it was able to, like, the city was able to form like it did. Is because you can run, like, entire trade shipments through the Stormrift Gate. You can...
Whoa!
That's the Stormrift Gate from the Akshi side.
Oh,
so
you
can
right
see Gyra through the other side.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I don't know. I was picturing, like, some sort of, like... Oh, you know what I've been picturing? I just realized. I've been picturing the fucking Stargate.
Oh, yeah.
Like the surface of the
it's
Stargate,
very,
you just walk through and you're... But I've definitely been picturing it being, like, not a window, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's fascinating. Oh, that's very cool.
And I think it differs. The Stormrift Gate is, like, clear and you can just see straight through to Gyra. But that is not always the case, right?
Okay.
Like, because realm gates can be naturally occurring, you can get ones that are form in sand at a certain time of day, or they're where shadow passes over a rock formation, the gate appears, right? Like,
but this one is constant.
Yes, this one is open all the time. It has a permanent structure built up around it.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So crossing through the gate to Hammerhal Gyra. Hammerhal Gyra. Hammerhal. I'm gonna keep.
Hammerhal.
Hammerhal Gyra is almost entirely farm.
Oh.
Yes, it is in the Age of Myth, right? We talked about how Guy ran the entire realm, like served as like the breadbasket for the other realms.
Yeah.
Right? Like the realm was free. Stuff grew there fiercely. It was easy enough for farming to be.
Life goddess lives here, so things kind of just grow real well.
Absolutely.
Okay,
and
that makes sense.
Easy enough for like strings of like independent farms, like just people kind of doing their normal thing to keep everyone sustained and fed. That is not the case anymore. Most of Gyran is overrun by Nurgle, right?
Yeah.
Like it is a horrifying disease-riddled nightmare where you do not want to take chances with anything that grows like outside of the specific protection of like city walls. And so how they have adapted to that is that they have like fully converted the interior of Hammerhal Gyra to like South American, like Peru style terrace farms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very like, if you've ever seen pictures of, I'm absolutely gonna say his name wrong, Chichen Itza.
Yeah, close. I also can't say it out loud without my tongue tripping over the syllables.
Absolutely.
But Chichen Itza?
Yes, it's very. Or Machu Picchu, like it's very. Those are probably two very different places.
I'm just trying to remember how Milo
person.
Rossi says it, because he's absolutely said it in his videos.
The biggest issue is that my roommate in college played a lot of Sid Meier's Civilization, and he called it Chicken Itcha.
So probably not that,
so
though.
It's not
Definitely
that one.
not that one.
It's super not that one, but yeah, like Machu Picchu. If you know the especially like the mountains, like if you're picturing Peruvian mountains, if you don't know what Peruvian mountains look like off the top of your head, they're the ones from Avatar. That's the bit.
Yeah,
Avatar is based off Peru. Pandora.
Oh, Last Airbender.
No,
oh
Pandora.
No, I knew that.
Yeah,
I knew that. I said the wrong one. So I was surprised. I was like, I don't think you're right. It totally is.
Yeah,
it is just based off of Peru.
They have the like kind of like lumpy mountains.
Yeah,
that, like,
the Hallelujah Mountains.
Yeah, that poke above the cloud line. That is very much the terrain of Gyran around like Hammerhal Gyra, where you have these massive terrace farms that take up most of the actual like physical locale of the city. You have drift isles, which are literally just like chunks of mountain that are buoyant. So they float, and a lot of them have like huge water reserves in them, and so they just kind of like pour water down onto the terrace farms, including ones that are small enough that they can kind of like hook chains to them and just like drag them over to like the crops that need more water. It's like a...
I like that.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting way to solve that.
Yeah, it's an interesting mix of like, this is clearly a natural space. This is clearly a space where nature thrives, and we need like the domesticated version of that in this moment to serve as like food source for everybody. Like to keep everybody fed, we just need to put like a harness on this incredible like wild growth to keep it a little bit more contained. And that's like a complicated thing because like the city in Ghyran that we're going to talk about called the Living City is the one that has Alariel's blessing.
And she's fine. She's like, that's cool.
Yeah, and that's the one that is like when you say like, oh, it's a nature city, that's kind of the one you would picture where it's like all the houses are grown out of trees that are like sung into shape by the elves who live there, right? It's very like, ooh, one with nature type stuff. Whereas Ghyran is more like we are taking advantage of the fact that we are on the life realm, but we're still very much doing like a human like city thing. Yeah. Right? Like,
there's agriculture here.
Yes. This is an adaptation to the and if that isn't just the human thing, right? Like this is an adaptation to the place in which we find ourselves, but it's still very much like operating within the structures that we have grown accustomed to, right? It's like built into, like I said, that Peruvian style mountain range.
Literally floating chunks of mountain.
Yep. I don't think you can see it in that picture, but the growth of Ghyran is so intense that they actually route lava from Hammerhal Aksha through the Stormrift Gate, through like channels they've built into the Stormrift Gate to like flow them out around the edges of the city.
No, yeah, you can see that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you can see lava coming out and there's a whole like walled,
to keep the rest of the, like wild growth out, which rips. Good idea. Just burn away the
innovative
like kudzu and strangling vines and whatnot that would otherwise try and grow into this extremely well kempt like garden city that you've built. Yeah, but like I said, Hammerhal Gyra definitely plays second fiddle to Aksha, especially in like narrative stuff, because it is like its existence very much serves a purpose, right? It's like, this is the breadbasket. It's very well defended. It's very well like maintained because we watched what happened the last time we like lost access to the food on Gyra, right? On
Can't
Ghyran.
let that happen again.
No, absolutely. But it's a cool spot.
Yeah. I'm picturing for the food there, I bet it's a lot of farm to table.
Oh,
like you want a really fresh leafy green salad with just some ripe, brightly colored like veggies and stuff. Like, that's what you're gonna get.
And like big veg, that's how a lot of the like wild magic of Gyra manifests too. It's like watermelon the size of a car type stuff, right? Like leafy greens that fully
could live inside a watermelon.
Yeah. Very much the like portion size of like, it's just what vegetables do when they get to grow very big.
Yeah.
Like you've all seen pictures of the like huge pumpkins and whatnot. Like, yeah. Overflowing with life magic. But that's Hammerhal. Like I said, I could talk literally forever about Hammerhal, but I don't want to because it's not the only thing we're talking about this episode.
There's more things to talk about this episode.
But like a lot of stories take place in Hammerhal. They can do all sorts of stuff. Like I said, there's a series of excellent gumshoe style crime novels featuring Callus and Toll, because Hammerhal is just a big city. You can do like a private investigator mystery. Like
fun.
They don't exclusively take place in Hammerhal, but that kind of thing.
If you wanted a fun, like eclectic setting, I can see that being really interesting and exciting for storytellers to get to play in that space.
Yes, absolutely. So let's talk about a couple of the other cities. We're gonna go in order of realm. So the rest of the next couple that we're talking about are all on Akshi, because very early on, like I said, the first realms to really have a presence, the twin-tailed foundings were on Ghyran and Akshi, like spreading out from Hammerhal. And so we're going to talk about the Akshi side, and then we're going to talk about the Gyra side, and then basically every realm has at least one city in it.
Nice.
And so we're going to cover the like most important ones. There's like a couple that I just didn't have time for the notes for. Like I know Bright Spear is also on Gur, but I don't know a ton about it because it's like exclusively to the soulbound like RPG books, which I just haven't like read a ton of. For the most part, we're going to cover like the big ones.
Okay.
Most of this information I think I mentioned previously is coming from a 3rd edition Cities of Sigmar battle tome, and so the ones that the people officially writing the game rules felt worthy of inclusion are the ones that we are going to be covering.
Fantastic.
So on that note, Tempest's Eye.
Oh.
Yeah. Tempest's Eye is on, actually, it is built into the sides of the Titan Spear Mountain. It is a very, like, Tibetan-coded, like, this is our city. Here is, like, one, like platform on the side of this mountain, and then here's 100 steps, and here's the next platform on the side of this mountain, and each one has 100 buildings on it. Like,
you're just gonna get your steps in for sure.
Absolutely. Like I said, kind of vaguely Tibetan coded, vaguely, like I said, all built into the mountain mostly as like a defense mechanism thing, right? Where it's hard to attack a mountain.
Yeah.
Right? It's home of so most of the big cities are going to have a storm host that claim it as like their main city. For Hammerhal, that's the Hammers of Sigmar. They're the biggest storm host, and they have like 6 forts in the city. Tempest is home of the Tempest Lord's storm host. They're very much integrated in the city. This isn't a like, oh, the storm host came before and like did the thing, or like we just paired these two together because they happen to like, they're very much like tied into the culture of Tempest. Tempest has made a name for itself as the de facto air dominance city. That's it. Like, it's built into the side of a mountain. If the greatest minds of the Ironworld arsenals are not in Hammerhal, they are in Tempest. So we have, like I said, that like rudimentary aircraft thing I was talking about. We have like a lot of that in Tempest. They pride themselves on being able to, and this is like a collaboration again between because for a while I know the Tempest Lords were kind of the like flying Stormcast host as well, where they had like a lot of like mounted flying beasts and prosecutors, which are the like winged Stormcasts and stuff. I don't know if that's still true. I feel like they've leaned more into the Tempest Lords as like a administration chapter, as like a command chapter or command host, but Tempest, the city, is still very much that like rudimentary, like I said, aircraft like buzzing around this mountain. Like Tempest has a very friendly relationship with the Caradron companies.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so several, like, there's Caradron skyports that will just like dock at Tempest for long periods of time for trade and negotiation and like cooperation and stuff. In previous editions of the game, when there was more like cross-faction rules stuff, if your in-game city was from Tempest, you could bring a contingent of Caradron in your
that's
army.
cool.
Yeah, right?
You can't do that anymore?
You can't do that anymore, unfortunately. There was some weird... We don't talk a lot about mechanics on this show, but I want to, because it's one of my like weird points for the game, because I love that. I love all of the like cross-faction, like little bits of stuff that they used to do. But I recognize on like a game level how it could get bad. So like the prototypical example I always point to in the jump from, because like the jump from 3rd edition to 4th edition is where a lot of that stuff got kind of cut. Is that part of Tzeentch, like Tzeentch's army identity is that they're supposed to be good at shooting. They have flamers, they have skyfires, like a couple of these like really good shooting units. And for basically the entirety of 3rd edition, the best shooting unit in their army was one they brought in from Slaanesh.
Oh.
Yeah, see that's
weird and no good.
Yeah, like I love the narrative potential of like, oh, these chaos forces are willing to work together because of like mutually shared interests, but on a pure like, some players are always going to make the most beneficial gameplay decision because that's how some people enjoy games. It always sucked a little bit that it's like, ooh, if I want to be making the most optimal decision, I just can't bring units from my own army.
Yeah, that's less good.
Yeah, that's
for
the
this
trick.
kind of game.
Yeah, it's always that balancing thing of like, it's a really cool idea that has a lot of fun narrative potential as long as you make sure it's bad, and that's not fun either, right?
No,
like that's
right?
yeah.
You're like, oh, this thing sounds really cool, but it sucks. Like that's also not good.
All that being said, I hope they bring it back because it's neat. So
figure out a way to balance it better, maybe.
Yes,
I don't know.
absolutely. They can do something about it. De facto air dominant city, like I said, we got the gyrocopters of the Ironworld arsenal. We have elven skycutters, which are a thing that still exists.
What a fun name.
Yeah, still a thing that exists in lore, even though I don't think they have a tabletop model anymore.
Oh, damn.
But they're just like, they're like sky chariots. Just picture like a chariot, but it's pulled by eagles.
Yes!
Yeah.
Very cool.
And like I said, when we still had like phoenixes and stuff, that was very much it's just the like, it would be so hard to try and have a military take Tempest from the ground.
Yeah.
That they are just like the aircraft city, the air dominant city, which is cool. I think it's a fun identity.
Yeah.
What
do you think I would get to eat if I went to visit there?
Ooh, I think it's a very like, because it's almost kind of like cut off from itself, and it's like a very workers like focus city. Like I said, a lot of people who are there to learn from and study at the Ironworld Arsenal, specifically as it relates to like aeronautics. Or they are, like I said, Caradron mercenaries who are temporarily like deployed in the town as garrison or on like trade agreement or something like that. I almost feel like Tempest Eye would lean towards like faster food. Like I think they definitely have like a regional cuisine. Again, it's probably just the mountain thing, but I'm imagining like a Tibetan like cuisine.
Yeah, I'm thinking like goat, lamb, things that
absolutely. But I think the majority of, I think that's the like things that people who live there eat frequently, but I think there's probably a culture of like fast food.
Yeah, just gotta grab something and go.
Yeah, lots of like sandwiches or I keep wanting to say like airport food, even though like airport food is like pejorative.
Yeah,
like, that's bad. I don't think it's that, but I do think it's leaned towards that.
Just things that you can prepare very quickly.
Yes, absolutely. People are on the go. You have to grab a hot dog and jump in your gyrocopter and go somewhere.
Excellent.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Hallowheart. Hallowheart's our last big city we're going to talk about. There used to be another one, but not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore?
Yep.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, because it's, the other one that used to be on actually was Anvilgard.
Yeah.
And Anvilgard is now the temple city of Hagnar.
Yep.
Where Marathi did her rite of ascension. So it's still technically a city. Like it's one of those like a lot of people who used to live there still live there.
It didn't fall to chaos.
Yep. So but other than Anvilgard, aka Hagnar, Hallowheart is our last big Axian city.
Okay.
And Hallowheart is neat. I like Hallowheart a lot. Hallowheart is the magic city.
Magic city.
Yeah. It is where all of the greatest schools of the collegiate arcane are located. It is where the greatest like minds of magic within Sigmar's empire go to study, both like mortal and Stormcast. Like even Stormcast after they reforge will go to Hammerhal to learn magic, even if they were like sorcerers and life and stuff, which is crazy because they could learn magic like from Sigmar, who he isn't much of a wizard, but like he's a god. Or they could go to like Settler's Gate and learn magic from Teclis.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But most of them choose to go to Hallowheart because Hallowheart is, like I said, it's following in that human tradition of magic learning where it's like the university style, the like institutional collaboration and pooling of knowledge in a very academic way, which is neat.
Yeah, I imagine also like they could go learn from Teclis, but it's also like the comfort level of like, but I know the cultural vibe here.
Yes, absolutely. Hallowheart is just the like world's biggest college town, where like it definitely has more of an air of like a serious university town.
Okay.
Like I said, this isn't.
They're not bar hopping.
I was gonna say
right?
this isn't bar hop town. This is like Cambridge, Massachusetts. This is Oxford. Like very serious people doing very serious
But
research.
if we have any listeners that attended any of those institutions and are like, no, the vibe of the town is very different. Hold on. No way, I did go bar hopping. I did have a fake ID when I was a freshman. Like,
I was gonna say,
hey, we're not a narc. We won't tell anybody.
Yeah, people are always people, for sure.
Yep.
Absolutely. But yeah, I'm mostly being derisive to Boise because we
we
technically live in a college town.
We do.
College town, parentheses, negative.
There's just so many bars, which is like not atypical of places,
like I said,
but like
people are always going to be people. Absolutely.
Hang out downtown Boise. What are you gonna do?
And they also do very important work at Boise State University. We're one of the leaders on geosciences. Like, come study geosciences here.
Apparently, we have a really good program. I have a friend who lives in Seattle that is applying to do one of the programs because it's online, but it's one of the best in the country.
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool.
No, I'm not going to put that in the episode. I'm not going to talk about my coworker's partner or podcast episode without their consent.
Yeah, probably. Like my other friend is also a podcaster, so that one I feel more comfortable with.
So the actual city of Hallowheart, like picture just towering like wizard spires. Like the whole city is just made out of.
Wizards love a tower,
right? The whole city is just made out of these like huge wizard towers with the like miscellanea of like day-to-day living like all kind of tucked in underneath the like actual towers of Hallowheart. And that is extended into the actual like structure of Hallowheart because the city itself sits on the top of a huge towering butte made of basalt.
Like, a butte made of basalt, you say?
Like there is just
how beautiful
straight pillar of rock rising up out of the earth, at the top of which is a series of huge pillars of rock, the spires of Hallowheart.
Nice.
Right? To the whole thing almost gives this image of just this like one singular massive like wizard's tower rising out of the earth, where like the basalt of and like in places people have like dug down into the basalt to create like more structures and stuff. And so you almost get, like I said, where the whole city is like a single contiguous wizard's tower, which rips. I love Hallowheart.
That's super cool.
But that pillar doesn't just like sit like on level earth. It's actually set into this like huge chasm that sits around the entire city of Hallowheart, which is part of the reason that Hallowheart can exist as like a purely academic town, is that the chasm that surrounds Hallowheart is full of valuable resources. It's one of the largest, it's one of the largest Emberstone mines on Actually. Emberstone's the realm stone, actually. Reminder for listeners.
Reminder for Darian.
Yeah. And so a lot of the people who live in Hallowheart who are not part of the university system or are a part of the university system also are working in the like resource extraction around Hallowheart. Like the immense wealth that affords Hallowheart is how it is able to maintain its status as like this beacon of like educational knowledge, right? It's very much our town was founded like on top of a diamond mine. And that's why we don't have to have like real industry. We can all just kind of hang out and like do philosophy and magic and knowledge building. Prior to, and this is the nature of it, because like Hallowheart's also along Nexus ley lines, right? For magical access.
Of course.
And one of the risks of that is that prior to its founding, Hallowheart was very much under the dominion of Tzeentch, like Tzeentchian cultists and Tzeentchi, like Zangor mutants, right? Like it was kind of a mutant infested, like they hadn't built the like towers and stuff. It was just this like, it was mostly like the chasm, right? It was a chasm full of like mutants and mad things.
That's real fucking scary.
Yep. And so like reclamation effort, founding of Hallowheart, like Stormcast went down there, fought him off. The people of Hallowheart went down there, fought him off. Magic v Magic, like real big punch up. We have a little bit of serendipity for this episode where in the 3rd edition battle tome, there's like a line at the very end where it's like, yep, Hallowheart's been secure for like 100 years. It's this huge beacon of knowledge, and like sometimes the workers will report that they've come across like a mutant in the mine tunnels or something, but like there's always going to be enclaves of that. It's like a very magically effused area, and like they deal with it and it's fine.
Okay.
Anyways, at time of recording, the Tzeentch 4th edition battle tome came out like a month ago, and the opening narrative of that book is the destruction of Hallowheart.
No!
Like, I can't express enough how, like, because I was writing the notes for this episode, and I was like, oh, I'll mention the little, like, oh, there's probably still, like, an active, like, Tzeentchian, like, cult in the city, because it's a big magic city.
Yeah.
And, like, they say they still find mutants in the tunnels, and, like, sure, it's a magically suffused area, but that's not just a thing that happens. Like, that's probably something that someone's doing on purpose. There's a whole Tzeentchian cult about turning people into Zangors. And... the like one of the big narrative through lines of the Tzeentch 4th edition battle tome is literally that like the Tzeentchian cult in Hallowheart had worked their way into like the halls of power, into the like free guild and like the command structure and stuff. And we have this story of a like free guild commander who's trying to organize the defense, like running up onto the parapets and seeing their commanding officer like crying over the like burning city and being like, sir, we have to pull ourselves together. We have to get things going and like get this figured out. And their commander like pulling them into an embrace, stabbing them in the neck and pushing them over the railing where they were like looking out over the city, because they had been doing that to everyone in the command structure who came to check on them, because they're part of the cult. And that is like part of their plan.
Damn.
But the tears were genuine because this was the culmination of the like plot that they had been working towards for decades.
Fuck.
Right? Like, and so we've had something similar like this happen before, where like the Tzeentch battle tome very explicitly is like, yep, Hallowheart is gone. It's just not a thing anymore. It has been fully overrun by, if anything, it's a Tzeentchian holding now. Like, we are in the hour of ruin. We are hurtling towards what it feels like is a huge status quo change where chaos is like
has the upper hand
reascendant.
again.
Yeah. I think, at the end of every edition, there is a like big status quo shakeup that heralds the next edition, right? That was the Necroquake. That was Kragnos waking up. That was the Vermin Doom, Blight City crashing into Akshi. I think that the lead up to 5th edition will see the breaching of Azir. I think Chaos is going to get into Azir.
Oh, shit.
I think that's our big shakeup.
Yeah.
Azir will no longer be the one safe realm. And I think that fits really well narratively with the stories we've been telling about, like, hey, this can't be a relationship where we're all the people of the realm and you're this, like, commanding force from on high, like, up in Azir in your safe place. We all have to be in this together. I think the breaching of Azir sells that. I think it says, hey, now you can't be like locked away safe in your one like last place. We're really all in this together.
Everyone's
now.
in this, like, and now this is what it's like.
Yes, the stakes are here for all of us. Oof. And I think that would be really neat. But definitely a big status quo shakeup.
Okay. Do you think there's a happy ending to this story?
I don't know.
Because there can't be.
I don't.
The game hinges on chaos constantly being a problem, and they're constantly being like disarray, and it's literally called Warhammer. You have to be fighting, right? But like, I guess it would only be if they were gonna stop doing Age of Sigmar.
Yes, I think. Yeah, that is always the trick with anything that is like a living like setting where things are expected to happen, is that I don't think there's ever going to be like we put a bow on it, everyone is like peaceful now, because then the game can't happen anymore. Yeah, that is in fact like the setup of like sister game Warhammer 40k, right? That's why Warhammer 40k's setting sucks so bad, and why it's very explicit in 40k that no, chaos can never be beaten, and in fact we are actively making it worse, because they always want that opportunity to, in the grim darkness of the far future, there's only war, right? I think part of the reason I prefer Age of Sigmar, and the thing I personally think Age of Sigmar does better, is that I think the back and forth happens more naturally. Yeah. And as a result, it doesn't like go gray so much, right? Like you hear about like, oh, the big transitional thing for the next edition of Warhammer 40,000 is like 10 worlds got destroyed by Tyranids. Fuck. And it's like, that's impactful, but there are 1,000 worlds. There are hundreds of thousands of worlds under the Imperium's control. That's Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it feels like that probably happens a lot, to be perfectly honest.
Yep. And for all we know, in 1,000 years, Chaos will have eaten everything in 40k, because that's just like that setting is worse. Like that's not a value judgment, even though I prefer Age of Sigmar. It's just a like 40k is a worse place to live.
Yeah,
right.
Like worse meaning quality of life for being in universe, not like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm so deeply invested in the idea that obviously the function of the last one was like, we got to beat chaos too, right? Like that's like the core idea of the world, but like I really want them to win.
Yeah, no,
I do want it, but it feels inevitable that they just won't.
Yeah.
And so is the point just the fight? Like to try to do it even if it's inevitable, because entropy is the end of all things, no matter. This is not the right episode for this. I don't know. Fucking Hollowheart just fucking fell to Chaos Cult, so I'm feeling real like, oh no.
I don't think, and I have 2 points of evidence for this, because I think the entropy, the like meaningless, the hopelessness of it all is more of a feature of 40k than it is of Age of Sigmar. And my 2 points of evidence for that are, there's a YouTuber that I quite like for Age of Sigmar stuff. I did for a long time. I don't think he's done much Age of Sigmar stuff in a minute. But I really liked his takes on narrative, his takes on rules, his like understanding of the setting. And he said that he would always say that the point of Age of Sigmar, it seems, is genuine victories through great sacrifice. Yeah. Like the things that Stormcast do are not meaningless. Yeah. They improve the quality of life for people. They have like, the forces of order collectively have carved genuine safe places into the realms for people to live. And there are definitely more people now who live relatively normal, fulfilled, like good lives than there ever were during the Age of Chaos. It has just cost us so much. And that's what makes it worth it, right?
And maybe it's also like a observation on complacency. Yes. It's always going to be something you have to fight and maintain.
Yes. I don't think there will ever be a final victory in Age of Sigmar, but I think there will be victories. Yeah. There will be little wins that can mean something bigger. The other thing is that I think even when things look bad because like chaos is ascendant, because chaos is definitely ascendant like right now.
Yeah.
Like that's a big part of the narrative is that Skaven really caught everyone in a sucker punch and like chaos is taking the initiative to seize on that. But the nature of chaos is infighting. The nature of chaos is that they aren't a unified front. I've been reading the novel Dark Oath, which features...
You were telling me about that.
Yeah, which features Chaos Marauder Gunnar Brand, who is a Dark Oath Marauder.
Guy
Warhammer. And the plot of that book is that, so far at least, is that his tribe figured out what the Skaven were going to do before it happened and tried super hard to stop it from happening and are now in like a full-on civil war with the Skaven, despite the fact that they are like under direct orders from Archaon to like press the attack on like Sigmar's cities to like try and claim this. But they don't care about that. They're not Dark Oath because they give a shit about chaos. They're Dark Oath because they had to do what they had to do to survive.
Yeah.
And right now, the biggest threat to their survival is all this chaos shit.
Yeah, all this chaos shit.
And I think
the fucking rats in the walls.
Yeah. And I think that's a really interesting build towards, because I feel like we tend to characterize everyone who is in service of chaos as like the absolute end of that spectrum.
Yeah.
The like crazed corn berserker who only thinks of blood. Like, but so many people, like, I don't know, it's a little sentimental to say that I think there's a real opportunity for them to show here that when chaos is winning is when people start to break from it because it becomes clear what the stakes are.
Yeah.
Because it becomes clear that survival isn't all that you can fight for.
Yeah.
We see more Gunnar. I think we have a second book confirmed.
Yay!
He's cool.
Yeah, so it feels in poor taste for me to ask what I would order in Hallowheart, so I won't. It's gone.
I was going to say, beforehand, like, fine dining.
Yeah.
And now, chicken? I don't know.
Probably.
Zinch has a bird aesthetic. This is lots of fried chicken. Zinch has a bird and fire aesthetic.
I'm not. Oh, spicy fried chicken,
Yeah.
too. You know, it's like that Tennessee hot chicken.
Yep.
And you know what? And that's actually great, because I fucking hate Tennessee hot chicken. It's weirdly sweet. Okay, and I like spicy stuff. And I like spicy fried chicken. But Tennessee hot chicken is weirdly sweet. And I think it's the absolute capture of, like, a chaos meal. Why is it sweet? Fight me. The entire state of Tennessee. I'm ready. Put your dukes up. Why is your chicken like this? My family's from Texas and Louisiana. I'm ready to fight all y'all.
But hey, so Hallowheart's gone. Probably
gone.
We might. I have a sense that we'll get like Hallowheart remnants, or we'll get like there's still like a resistance movement inside the city or something like that. Once we get more from like cities side of it, because like factions tend to be framed very positively in their own battle tomes. It absolutely tracks that a Tzeentchian battle tome would be like, yep, and then Tzeentchian cultists destroyed the big magic city. So we'll see how much of that like holds going forward. But so that's our cities on Akshi. Most of them are there. So even though we're already an hour deep into this episode, don't worry, it's not going to be that long.
Most of them 2 now?
Yeah. There's like
there
3.
were 3. Now there's 2.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about the Gairan cities. So we already talked about Hammerhal Gaira, right? So let's talk about the other, like, I would argue the other big Gairan city, which is the Living City. That's its proper title. It doesn't have like another name. And the Living City is like the true collaboration between Sigmar and Alariel.
Nice.
It is equal parts both their cities. Alariel sculpted the walls of the city out of clay, like a potter's hands.
Yeah.
So there's just this huge caldera in the landscape of Gairan, within which that caldera there are buildings and like houses and stuff that are entirely grown out of the massive trees that are native to Gairan. There's not a single manufactured thing inside the whole city.
Nope, not a lot.
Everything is grown. And the people who live there are a mix of like kind of your normal cities fare, humans, elves, dwarves, etc. And then like the Sylvaneth who live within the Living City as well. Largest population of any of the cities, in the same way that Tempest Eye used to be able to bring Caradron. Living City's army used to be able to bring Sylvaneth, right?
That makes sense. Yeah.
The motto is, it's not their official motto, but the thing people say is that the Living City stretches all the way from the roots to the canopy. Like the whole thing is the Living City. The Sylvaneth wander down amongst the people and talk and share their stories and like collaborate. The people climb up into the branches to talk to the Sylvaneth, to commune with nature. It is very much the actual, like, even where there are other conflicts between like Sigmar's thing and Alariel's thing, god of civilization, goddess of nature, this is the true like collaboration project. And I think that's neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the main thing about the Living City, is that it is this kind of like nature like utopia. Like there's still conflict and stuff. Any big city is going to have, you know, crime and like various mistrust, like all the little things that you're going to get in cities.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the Living City is like really nice.
I can imagine. I was just listening to, it's called The Price of Mercy, Unfair Trials, A Violent System, and a Public Defender's Search for Justice in America by Emily Galvin Almanza. And one of the things that the author talks about towards the end of the book is like, what are some solutions we can do? What are other things that we as a community, as a system, as a society should be investing in? And talked about how places that have trees see less violent crime.
Yep.
And you'd be thinking, oh, is it just because... And my thought was like, oh, is it because like people who have like money and stability can afford to live in those places? The study tested for those things and actually found like when green trees, like large green trees and canopies are added in spaces, listen, we as people like to live near trees. So it makes total sense that the Living City would be a pretty tight place to live for a lot of reasons. There's data to show trees are good.
Yeah. Listen, animals were subject to the same things that other animals are. Your cat would get depressed if they couldn't look out the window and see birds.
Yep.
Like, look at a tree. It helps, I promise.
We've got the most beautiful cherry blossoms, and they're in full fucking bloom, and I had my windows all open yesterday, airing it out and pulled back, and I walked in and I just saw them through the window, and I was like, oh, God, the world is good.
Fun fact for our listeners who might not know, Boise's official title is the City of Trees. So it's because we got our name from the French, and the name of our city is literally just the trees.
Yeah, it should be Le Bois. Yeah. So honestly, if you're a dick that's like, it's Boise, not Boise, it's actually Le Bois, so shut the fuck up. So actually, fight me.
Boise.
Actually.
Sorry to the French.
Sorry to the French. No, I'm not.
I am. I like the French. They're cool.
I'm going to France only to go to Disney Paris, and I'm going to tell no, I'm not going to tell a single person in there. I'm going to tell everybody else that. I'll tell the Italians that.
The most controversial thing we've said on our podcast.
I'll tell the Welsh that. I'll tell the British that. I'm not going to tell a single French person that. They don't need to know. They'll get so mad at me.
Blow cigarette smoke right in your face.
Oh God, I will, and I'll deserve it because what I'm doing is crazy.
Another big one on Guyran is the Phoenicium, which has a cool name. That's not its name.
Phoenicians.
Yeah, that's not its name. It's the city of the Phoenix.
Oh!
But everyone calls it the Phoenicium.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to say.
Less syllables. The Phoenicium sounds great.
Yeah. So yeah, its formal, like, actual name is the City of the Phoenix, but everyone just calls it the Phoenicium.
Yeah.
Originally, the Phoenicium was, like, kind of a small settlement. It was just like this kind of humble, like, mining town at the base of this big mountain. But during the, like, lead up to the Age of Chaos, there was lead up / immediately into the Age of Chaos, there was a big conflict between the local settlers of the town and like chaos forces. And some say as like a blessing from Alariel, or like invoking like a god beast or some kind of like natural force caused the mountain above the town to erupt.
Oh shit.
In amber.
Yeah. Okay.
Liquid flowing amber that just flowed over the town, preserving the entire town in this like flow of amber.
Incredible.
Right?
Yeah.
And so much later, like into the Age of Sigmar, people came along. The city is along the city's along a ley line. It was deserving of study. It was like this huge amber flow. And so people came along and they used magic to just like carve like hallways and channels and stuff into the actual structure of the amber.
Yeah.
And so the whole city is one huge contiguous piece of amber that has been like carved from the inside to have like rooms and like, right? It's incredible. Including the like, you're in like a building carved out of this piece of amber and you look over and there's just like a cart that still has its like goods preserved there where the amber flowed over it, right?
Wow, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just this crazy like frozen in time thing. It was the other like big magic city for a long time, where like there's a big high elven like expat that lived in the Phoenicium. Like I said, it's along a ley line. That's originally what kind of drew people there for the like research and the study and that kind of thing. And unfortunately, I'm talking about the Phoenicium in past tense because it was also destroyed by chaos.
Oh no!
We've mentioned actually the destruction of the Phoenicium a couple times before.
Yeah.
This is the one that Abraxia, second in command to Archaon, came to. She took the embers of the Phoenix that was like lived in the Phoenicium, was like collaborative. It's a god beast, so it like collaborated in the like study and stuff with the members of the Phoenicium. She took the embers of the Phoenix to try and burn the flesh eater curse out of herself.
Oh yeah.
And it like kind of worked, but
only kinda.
But only kind of. And then the twins of the Lumineth saved the ashes of the Phoenix and took them back to Hish. And so hopefully we'll see the Phoenix re-emergent. Like I said, I think the Phoenix is going to be companion to Tyrion.
Yeah,
Tyrion.
I think Tyrion deserves an animal BFF.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the Sphinx with Teclis. Like a Phoenix for Tyrion would be perfect. Yeah. Wonderful. But yeah, that's the Phoenicium. It's just kind of a ruin again because they got destroyed by Abraxia.
Damn it.
Right? It's still stunning. Like, the amber didn't go anywhere.
The amber still, listen, if we could just reclaim it, people could move back in. Yeah. Maybe.
And the last, and I think the most interesting one in Ghyran, so much so that we talked about it last episode too, but we're going to go more into depth in it, is Greywater fastness. So direct quote from the book, it's hard to imagine a city less attuned to its realm. If the living city is the platonic ideal of what a like Gyranic city could look like what it means for people to live in harmony with nature, Greywater fastness is perpendicular to Ghyran. It is not opposed, it's just using the advantages of Ghyran in a very unique way that isn't like beneficial to Ghyran, right? So Greywater fastness, whole thing. Greywater fastness is the heavy industry capital of the realms.
Okay.
Like all of the terrible like factory processes that we in the real world associate with like destroying the environment, like all the like flooding the river waters with sludge and pouring smog into the air.
Fracking.
All of these like terrible industrial, like heavy industry practices. All of that happens in Greywater fastness. And it happens in Greywater fastness because the people of Greywater fastness, the founders, correctly identified the fact that Ghyran is the realm that is most capable of just like healing itself.
That's not a good reason.
Nope. No, it's kind of a fucked up thing, right? Like it's very like they know they are hurting Ghyran. They are polluting and like destroying the natural environment of Ghyran, but they also know doing this anywhere else, the land would never recover, right? Ghyran is the one place where this is
Yeah, damn.
Right? It's such an interesting, because like I said, the people of Greywater fastness, it's not a it's not a real world industry thing.
Yeah.
It's not like the people in Greywater fastness are like, oh, I'm going to become rich doing all this heavy industry.
Yeah.
They're as bought into the like statement and the goal of the cities of Sigmar as anyone else, the reclamation of the realms. And they very much approach it with kind of a grim like fortuitousness of like not everyone's going to be able to stomach seeing what we do to the like landscape around here in Greywater fastness, but everyone will be happy for the like guns when they arrive. Everyone's going to be happy for the steam tanks and the engines and all of the
armor
stuff we have manufactured here and better here than anywhere else, right? It's such a like it feels like it sucks, but it does suck.
And it's bad, but it's also like there's not an alternative.
No. For all that justification, hey, you know who doesn't agree with Greywater fastness?
I'm pretty sure Alariel's pretty fucking pissed.
Oh yeah, Alariel doesn't like it, and also the Sylvaneth.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the Sylvaneth really don't like it.
The Greywater fastness has its own like grove of Sylvaneth, which is what you call like an organization of Sylvaneth.
Yeah,
has its own
group of Sylvaneth. It's called a grove.
Is a grove, yeah.
Yeah,
has its own grove of Sylvaneth who exist purely to try and destroy the city of Greywater fastness.
Yeah,
like Greywater fastness has turned like as a mixture of like industrial waste and the fact that every inch of the walls of Greywater fastness is covered in heavy artillery guns has turned a mile from the walls of Greywater Fastness in every direction into an uninhabitable, pockmarked wasteland, mostly through the artillery fire, because at all hours of the day, there are hordes of Sylvaneth tree spirits trying to physically tear the walls down, right?
Yeah, you can't even be mad at them.
No, yeah, like they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Like they're defenders of nature.
I feel like folks who are at Greywater Fastness would also be like, no, yeah, no, that's fucking fair. Yeah, we're not gonna stop, but like I can't fault them. Yeah, they're right.
Like I said, Greywater Fastness is like originally built. It's like the iron guns of Greywater Fastness, like all these like implements and stuff to keep chaos at bay, because they knew they'd be a target with all the like manufacturing they were doing. And that is like chaos can't even get near Greywater Fastness. Like chaos can't touch Greywater Fastness because to try they'd have to get through hundreds of miles of angry Sylvaneth, right?
It's just not worth it.
No, like
by the time they'd make it through, they'd have no more energy left to take the city.
Greywater Fastness, like the more effort Greywater Fastness puts into manufacturing stuff, the less efficient they become, because the attacks from Sylvaneth get so much more intense that they have to devote so much extra like artillery fire to keeping them back, and also the like guns and protection stuff to get shipments out of Greywater Fastness. Like if you are like a day worker in one of the factories of Greywater Fastness and you like leave the city for a daytime walk, you're dead. Yeah, like the trees will take you. Like
trees will take you. Every tree in this whole goddamn realms, all of them, every tree.
But yeah, like I said, the whole area around Greywater Fastness is now referred to as the Ghoulmere, like the Ghoulmire, because it is just like what if land could be undead, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of the vibe. My last, like that, I think Greywater Fastness is super interesting, like I said, as a world building element. Like obviously the thing they're doing sucks, but you can absolutely follow their like line of reasoning for why they're doing it, even through, like I said, because it's way past the point of like, if the people of Greywater Fastness were like, actually we'd give up and they tried to leave, they'd still just get mulched by Sylvaneth. Because like there's no going back now, so might as well just keep doing it, right? So might as well just keep doing the thing.
I mean, if they were like literally like, wait, we're done, they couldn't get like Stormcast to escort them out of the city?
They might be able to, but like the Sylvaneth aren't going to let them leave is more what I'm saying. It's not a like, okay, we're done. This is this is an amicable like surrender. It's like, you have scarred the land and you will pay for what you've done. Absolutely.
You don't get to just leave.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, and again, they're right. Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say, all Sylvaneth kind of exist on a spectrum from like Treebeard, like old wizened sage who has all the wisdom of nature, to like
Poison Ivy?
Feral raccoon.
Okay.
Like even worse than that. Like Poison Ivy is like, oh, you've punished nature and I'm going to like talk at you about it. Like some Sylvaneth are so far down the like, oh, and it's usually how close they are to like the Alariel's song is like kind of what animates Sylvaneth and it like connects them all through this like kind of grand spiritual melodies. And like Sylvaneth who are cut off from the song tend to get like crazy and feral. And those are but they still keep their like base like idea to that. Those
speak for the trees.
Yeah, no, that's the one of like, oh, you like tread on a mouse while you were like walking down a path and suddenly there is a berserk tree coming from the tree line. Yeah,
well, why is a fucking mouse? You could have seen it and walked around it.
It's true.
That's a dick move and you deserve what the tree has coming to you.
But yeah, like I said, I like Greywater Fastness because it's an interesting. Yeah. Like it's very thoughtful. It's a super interesting fantasy city. Is mostly what it is. Like this is not a thing that you could portray in like a more realistic setting. Yeah. And I think that's neat. Also, the last note on Greywater Fastness is that even in the 3rd edition Battle Tome, we have a note on golems.
Oh, neat!
Yeah, which like I said, they're technically part of like Caradron lore. They're technically part of like Kazalid lore. They're like hypothetically like you remember the cog people of Shaman were like one of the great things that Grungni created before he disappeared. But we get like so few references to them anymore that no one's sure if it's like still a thing that GW is doing anything with, but they still do. Like there's golems in Greywater Fastness, so
maybe
right. That's the last one of Ghyran, and so the next couple of entries are all going to be like the big city for each of those realms. Like Ghyran actually have the most cities, but each realm have at least one. It's just where they're originated, right? Okay. The most successful crusades leave from Hammerhal, and so because Hammerhal has the best access to Aqshy and Ghyran.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The lead up from 3rd edition to 4th edition was the Twin-Tailed Crusade, where 2 different Dawnbringer Crusades left from Hammerhal at the same time, and we were teased early on to like, ooh, like spooky, like one of these crusades will succeed.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was the Emberguard Crusade, by the way.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about one of my favorite cities because it's crazy. Lethis. The cairn city of Lethis.
Okay.
It is the only major city of Sigmar on Shaiish.
I was waiting. And I'm like, are we going to Shaiish? Tell me more.
The great knife in Nagash's back.
Fucking good.
The one, like, the biggest single, like, place in Shaiish that he does not have control over.
Listen, now that I've forgiven Teclis, all of 100% of my ire can go to fucking Nagash. This bastard. So prepare for that, dear listener.
Like I said, Lethis is a constant thorn in Nagash's side.
Good.
It is like super important that Lethis is protected. It has a storm host dedicated to it. It has the personal like support of Sigmar through like resources and stuff. Because again, like Shaiish is one of the realms that's like, okay, if we lost a foothold in Shaiish for any reason, we would never get it back.
Yeah.
And so Lethis just has to be this like super protected city, both on the physical side, and the thing I think makes Lethis really interesting is that Lethis is the like abjurative charm capital of existence. Like everyone in Lethis has some way of like warding off negative spirits or like
they probably do.
They live on the realm of death that is beholden to a person who personally hates them. Like, yeah. Every citizen is skilled in supernatural trinketry, talisman forming, like scrimshaw, which is the art of like carving bone patterns.
It's a bunch of new age girlies.
Yeah, I mean, no, absolutely. Like every corner and block is just covered in like relics and charms and talismans and like carvings and wind chime, like anything to ward off spirits, anything to ward off evil, right?
Hey, I got distracted. What am I ordering in Gairan?
Oh yeah, I
got bummed out by Hollow Heart. So
before the fall, right?
Yep.
In the Phoenicium, I am imagining like it's got to be hard to get like the resources for like cooking fires and stuff when the whole thing's covered in amber.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining that they have a lot of like cool storage foods.
Yes.
Like for some reason, I want to say like a tartar is like the Phoenicians thing, especially because they're like a little bit intellectual. It's like a high elf population. Like tartars are like really fancy salads. Like it's going to be hard to get the like greenery, but like, I don't know. That's also just the vibe it gives me.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, the things that are cold pâtés. I bet.
Living City is all fresh fruits.
All fresh fruits.
Right.
Yeah,
They just grow off the trees.
It's fresh fruits and unfertilized eggs and things like that. If you ever read fucking the scene in Aragon where Aragon's bitching about it's a chapter where he decides I'm done eating meat before he makes that decision. He's bitching about the food the elves are feeding him. That menu is what you get.
Like I said, just a lot of like natural ingredients in the Living City. Absolutely. I'm picturing that like cooking is almost like a lost art in the Living City. I think you just walk down any street and you're picking like a fruit off the
you don't have
boughs
to.
when you're when you're
so
hungry.
much time.
Greywater fastness is like canned anchovies.
I'm not eating anything in Greywater fastness. Like it's all fucking polluted.
I was gonna say Greywater fastness is a manufacturing town.
Yeah.
Like you are getting
a can of beans.
Yeah, a can of beans if you're lucky. Like vacuum sealed cup ramen, like just the most industrial.
Okay, thank you. Now we're gonna go back to our new age girlies.
Lethis, like I said, just covered in these abjurative charms. The people of Lethis but it's not like, because everyone is bringing different methodology and stuff, but it's not like it's because all of them work to some extent and they're just trying to like brute force it. It's that there was a fucking terrible vampire movie that came out when I was in high school.
You'll have to be more specific.
I know. It was the era of bad vampire movies.
Era of bad vampire movies.
It was really bad, but the only scene I remember from it that made me like laugh a lot was like one of the characters' mom is in the hospital and their friend has been turned into a vampire, and they go to visit their mom in the hospital and they have just stolen every single like window sticker or like piece of paper or whatever they can find and like stuck them to the window in her hospital room to make crosses.
Damn. Okay.
To like ward the vampire, right?
Yeah.
And just the idea of like if this works at all, like one will do it, but we're not gonna gonna risk that. We're just gonna do like a 50.
Let's make sure. Let's really lean in.
Absolutely. That's the vibe Lethis gives, right? It's like all of these abjurative charms like work. Like the city of Lethis persists. Lethis persists despite the fact that it shares a realm with like night haunt processions.
Yeah,
right.
That's crazy.
And like so all the stuff from Lethis works. Like that's fascinating. There are huge like Lethis has perfected the arts of like funeral rites and stuff. So people who died in Lethis receive all the like funerary rites and whatnot so that they can't rise as undead, and they get properly buried in like the vast catacombs beneath Lethis. The anvils of Heldenhammer are the storm host assigned to Lethis. The anvils thing is that they are the souls of people long dead, like they're the souls of people that Sigmar stole from Shyish in the aftermath of the Battle of the Burning Skies, overwhelmingly. And so they were long dead spirits, and so they have like a connection to death, and they can kind of like help ward it off and stuff. And not like super uncommon amongst the individuals of cities, but certainly more uncommon for like official policy of the city itself. The city of Lethis holds 2 gods.
What?
Sigmar is the main deity.
Yeah.
But they also worship Morda, the same death divinity.
We
yes.
talked about Morda.
Yeah, Morda is the same death divinity that gave Iridan, the witness, their axe that can like free Stormcast forever from like their immortality. Morda is one of the death gods who escaped Nagash's grip. Now serves as like this beacon of like resistance of because a thing I think we haven't like touched upon a ton in the podcast is that because we certainly like pointed at it. Nagash is like the god of death.
Yes.
But he's not supposed to be.
Right. Yeah. He gave himself that job.
He gave himself that job. And importantly, necromancy isn't like a natural expression of death magic.
Yeah.
Necromancy is a thing that Nagash invented by blending it with illusion, blending it with falsehood.
Yeah.
Like it's a perversion of like the natural state of amethyst magic.
Yeah.
And so all the times that Nagash has tried to more thoroughly integrate himself into Shyish, more like blend himself into the true nature of like death, has failed because he can't be that, because he's the necromancer god. He doesn't actually connect to death magic in the way that he thinks he should.
Yeah.
Because he is a like offshoot of it.
Yeah.
And so Morda continuing to exist and being the patron deity of Lethis is a point of resistance of like, no, you have currently done this thing, but you'll never actually be like a death god.
Yeah.
You'll always be the necromancer god, and you are a sickness that we will cut out.
It's giving Loki telling Thanos that he'll never be a god.
Yeah.
Like, what a vibe. I was just thinking like about like, oh, it's a corruption of death magic, and then my brain thought like, well, then what would be like actual death magic? Just like killing people? That seems like a bummer move. And for some reason, I thought of the thing that the witches of Discworld, what they do when a person dies and they sit vigil to make sure that transition goes as it's supposed to, or when someone is unable to pass on as they should, sometimes a witch has to be the one to help them, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just thought of that as a complete, like, leaning into the naturalness of death and not making it any less tragic or less scary or less hard, but maybe like less scary. Yeah. The idea of not alone and making that transition there, and as like a complete like opposite of like necromancy.
Yes. The vibe I've always got, I'm not an expert by any means, but the vibe I've always gotten is that where Nagash has gone wrong is that he views amethyst magic as stagnation. That's why undeath, right? Like that's why the preservation. But the true nature of amethyst magic is annihilation. It's endings. It's the magic of finale. Yeah. Right? And that's why, like death rites are something amethyst wizards oversee. Amethyst wizards that we've seen in narrative and stuff. There's an amethyst wizard in Gloomspite. His magic causes aging when used hostily. But that's like an expression of death. That's an expression of endings. And Aftermath and the Necroquake, when like magic went crazy and there's like just like living spells that like roam the different realms. The living spell that emerges on Shyish is called the Purple Sun of Shyish, and it just makes things stop existing.
Oh no, that's so scary.
Because it's the magic of ending, right? Like,
damn. Okay, yeah. Hey, okay. It's the thing I keep forgetting is that there were other gods other than like our club
yeah.
that just refused to answer the group chat.
Yeah.
And it does make me wonder if there was another god of death. We definitely, maybe Sigmar could have hooked up with whoever this deity is. Like, we didn't have to put all of our eggs in the Nagash basket.
No. It's kind of complicated. Like, I think part of it might have been familiarity. It might have been power. I don't think a lot of the other death gods that we do know about would have been interested in Sigmar's thing as well.
Yeah, they don't know.
Like, I don't think Morta would have been. I don't think there's like a trickster death god that Nagash hates, who's also implied to kind of still be around, but
my
just
new
like
favorite character
isn't doing anything. Like, they're just being a pain in Nagash's ass.
My new favorite character.
They don't have any like agency. They're a very like kind of Egyptian coded, like a Sphinxian like cat death god.
My new favorite character. Say less.
But yeah, I think it was one part like Sigmar's folly and one part Sigmar's like myopicness in his planning of like, say what you will about Nagash, but he could depend on him to empire build, which is what he thought he needed at the time.
Yep, okay.
But yeah, Lethis, like I said, worship Morta alongside Sigmar, hold them in equal accord, and all of the, like I said, the abjurative charms and the like just constantly flooded by undead because again, like almost the inverse of like Greywater Fastness, where there's just literally always a billion skeletons surrounding the city of Lethis, and they just keep trucking.
You can't. Yeah, there's skeletons out. Don't fucking leave the city.
Yep. There's a big storm vault. The like Stormcast, like, here's where Sigmar put all the very dangerous magical artifacts.
Yeah.
Underneath the city of Lethis.
Of course.
Where a very important thing is that we'll talk about in a later episode.
Ooh.
Foreshadowing.
What will I order when I go to Lethis?
I think Lethis is like, I think if Hammerhal Aksha is like a foodie city in that everything is there.
Yeah.
I think Lethis is a foodie city in that it has like an amazing food culture. Like I said, if Hammerhal Aksha is New York, Lethis is like Austin.
Not to say New York doesn't have food culture, like what we're saying, but like it's more of a specialized.
Yeah. Like I think I'm picked because
Tesseralia.
Yeah.
From Adventure Zone. Balance arc.
Yeah. Because like Lethis' thing is so much like we're all doing the same thing, but we don't care how. Like we all have we're all bringing our own thing to this like absurd. Like I'm picturing almost the way that like American culture tends to like Americanize different like food, like cultural foods and stuff is how I'm kind of picturing Lethis' food scene. Where it's like a like you're
bringing their culture, but you have to use the resources at hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to a restaurant in Lethis and it's like, all of our recipes are like third generation Anditor, which is a place in Gur, but we can't get good like Grunta out here.
Right. That's not going to happen.
We've borrowed like techniques for doing like a vegetarian version from people who came from Gairan, and now we have this weird like fusion cuisine. Is how I'm picturing Lethis, because I think that is a good expression of the city.
No, I like that a lot. I read a thing a while ago like talking about like American cuisine and like Americans just like change, like Chinese food in America is totally different in Mexico. It's like, yeah, it is, but that's not like the excuse is because America just like sucks, right? And Americans are just lazy, and it's like, yes, for other reasons, but in terms of like the Americanization of cuisine, it's largely because when folks from cultures come to a new place, they don't always necessarily have access to those same ingredients, so they find what's available in the new home and make that part of their culture. So it's usually actually a mix of both, not necessarily, we have to do this to, which sometimes it is. I'm not saying it's not, but like I thought that was a really, I don't know, more interesting, not just more interesting, but a more like nuance, acknowledgement of food and what food means in a place and the history of cuisines.
There's so much history you can tell from like how people, like we just passed St. Patrick's Day here I was supposed to say here in the States. That's crazy.
In the world.
Yeah. And corned beef isn't an like traditional Irish dish. It's an Irish American dish because corned beef was the shitty beef that you bought if you were poor.
Yeah, right? That fucking kicks ass. I love a corned beef.
Yeah.
My brother DJ slow cooked a corned beef for us. Well, for me, not for Dalton. But he made Dalton a shepherd's pie out of lentils.
Yeah, it was very good.
It was good. And then
Dalton doesn't eat meat.
Dalton doesn't eat meat. That's why. Not just but it kicked ass. And I'm like, this is great. But yeah, like the history of that is it used to be the bad meat.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought this like food element to
this is so much fun.
This
was
is
just
a lot
like
of fun.
a bit.
I wasn't thinking
first.
about it at all, and now I'm like so locked in.
It's a part like I mentioned earlier about me being in Europe, which we've talked about before because I'm going to try to hit up some cool Warhammer stuff over there. But it's that's born of me thinking about the different places I'm going to go and like what I want to eat while I'm there. And largely, I just want to have the people I know in those areas tell me where I should go eat.
Yes,
but I will murder a curry. I can promise you that.
Hell yeah. Let's talk about, so that's, Lethis is the Shaiish city.
Yep.
So let's talk about
I'd be shocked if there was more than one in Shaiish.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's like settlements and stuff, but they're all like suck.
Yeah.
The first Cato novel takes place in a like little settlement in Shaiish, and it just sucks. It's a bad place. So let's talk about the Shaman city.
Shaman city.
The Vindicarium, which is a good name. I like
the Vindicarium. Yeah.
It is located deep in Shaman, like it's off of the Spiral Crux.
Mm-hmm.
It is home to the Celestial Vindicators storm host,
Okay.
which is important for later.
Okay.
It is a massive cathedral city.
Ooh.
It is built into the caldera of a volcano.
Uh-huh.
And it is like classic.
That's the second one built in a caldera volcano.
Yeah. It's like a classic, like European style, like towering cathedral spires, like Notre Dame, like just huge, like religious buildings where all of the like official buildings of the city are built into the like walls of the inside of the caldera of the volcano, because the actual pit of the caldera is like a quicksilver, like it's a resource that they're like extracting. It's this huge like roiling quicksilver like lake basically. And so like all the official buildings are built inside the caldera where they can both like get to that and also like big official buildings and stuff. Yeah. And then the like residual housing of it like spill down the outside of the volcano to where you get this like these like kind of shacks and like all built into the like very uneven ground of the side of the volcano, and then just the spires of the like churches poking up out of the inside.
That's crazy.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
I like
okay.
The Vindicarium. The Vindicarium is considered the most devout of all of the cities of Sigmar. Like these are the ones who would get mad that Lethis worships Morda. They are the devout in a way that's like, okay, cool, but also when we talked about flagellation last time, flagellation is a tradition that gets its start in universe in the Vindicarium.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes, it's very much a the Vindicarium is the Catholic city.
I was thinking, I was like, yes, we're just at the fucking Vatican, aren't we?
We got the big cathedrals, we got the flagellation, we got the reliquaries, all of the kind of crazy stuff.
So I'm getting Italian food here.
Yes.
I'm getting rich pastas and great sauces.
I was going to say.
Cool. We'll just answer that now.
You shouldn't eat any food in the Vindicarium because it's on Shaman. So things grown on Shaman have high metal contents. They will give you metal poisoning. But if you were going to go there, I imagine you would get a nice pasta.
Wait, what do they eat?
Oh, they eat it because they're from Shaman.
Oh, but like, I can't eat it.
No, people natively from Shaman can deal with the higher metal content, but people not from Shaman should not eat food grown on Shaman.
I'm like smelling this delicious pasta, and it's like, no, don't eat that, you'll die.
I was gonna say it's probably.
I want it so bad now.
It's probably delicious to people from Shaman, but I have to imagine it's kind of like when you accidentally bite a fork, like you just get that like tinny like taste in your mouth a little bit.
When you're a kid and you put a bunch of pennies in your mouth, don't worry about it. I said that out loud. I'm really glad I've got leftover chicken parmesan downstairs. Like suddenly all I want in the world is pasta. Like goddamn all I want in the world is pasta, and I can't even have the imaginary pasta because it's got metal poisoning.
So the big thing that the Vindicarium is known for, and this is like a bit of in-universe like weird history where we don't know exactly what happened.
Okay.
But the Vindicarium being this like hyper devout city is like a newer development in the Age of Sigmar.
Okay.
Because whatever the Vindicarium was before that, the one thing we know is that the version of the city that exists now is because for some reason the Celestial Vindicators had like a civil war inside, not amongst themselves, between the Stormhost and the citizens of the Vindicarium.
Okay.
Yes. Alternately referred to, like the Stormcast just kind of don't acknowledge it. People on the outside call it the Purge of the Vindicarium.
Oh.
Because there's not a lot a normal person can do against a Stormhost. Like even a lot of normal people. Like
yikes.
So, and that is what led to the current like hyper devout version of the Vindicarium.
Yeah, I see that being the inevitable outcome of that kind of experience for sure.
So we don't know what started it. We don't know what the like main conflict was, and accounts differ because of like Stormhosts. The Celestial Vindicators definitely lean maybe a little bit further along that line of like chaos can't be tolerated anywhere. Anyone who's like in collaboration with it must be like put down is definitely like a Celestial Vindicator. What is their mercy is a mistake I will not make twice is the motto of the Celestial Vindicators. So they're definitely like a purgy host, but also like Shaman is deep Tzeentch territory. Like they're right off the Spiral Crux, which is like the epicenter of Tzeentch's power in the realms.
They can't afford to make a mistake.
I was gonna say, and we just saw what happened to Hallowheart, right? So that's the like no one's sure exactly what happened, but it is the kind of thing that like the Vindicarium gets talked about in like hushed tones. Like other cities look at what happened in the Vindicarium and they look at their own Stormhost with a little bit more suspicion. Right? Like that's the real insidiousness of it is whatever the Vindicarium is now, it is the first like black mark on the record of the cities of Sigmar.
Shit, okay.
Right.
Can't even eat any of the food there.
Yeah, right. Get you a cool pasta.
But not me.
But not
Not me.
I mean, they could probably import some stuff, but I feel like people who live on Shaman, stuff imported from elsewhere wouldn't have high enough metal content.
Yeah, they need it.
Yeah, they just adjusted to it now. They have to get 800 times their normal iron intake.
Yeah.
All right. Screaming towards the end. We got 3 more cities to talk about.
Let's go.
Let's go to Gur.
Hey, let's go to the place where the trees want to eat you.
Yeah, the realm of beasts.
Beasts.
Let's talk about Excelsis.
Oh, great fucking name.
Right?
Wow, Excelsis, you say.
Excelsis is the city of the impossible. It is a permanent founded city on the realm of beasts.
That's crazy. How do they swing that?
They barely do.
Okay.
Yes, a massive city founded on Gur. There's no stability on Gur. And I mean that like super literally. Like the continents of Gur are living animals that will fight each other. Like there's just no you have to throw everything you think you know about like city building out the window to pull off what Excelsius has, and they have, right? The city is constantly adapting to territorial disputes over Gur's continents, where they will like just tear down and rebuild the walls as like Thondia literally like took a bite out of the continent that Excelsius exists on. Right? The sea is also a living creature, and it regularly also takes bites out of the Excelsian coastline, and so they just have to move the city back.
Let's just take the city and we'll just push it out of the way.
A little bit. But they've like adapted to be able to like they understand a little bit how it's so weird because it's all magic.
Yeah.
Because like the continent.
The answer is magic. Yeah, for sure.
The continent that Excelsis exists on doesn't have muscles. It's a continent, but it moves like it has muscles because it's a beast.
Yeah.
And so they've figured
Both
out.
These things are true.
Yes, they figured out how the continent moves, and they've managed to build walls that can like buck and flow with the motions of the continent rather than
like
crumble.
When you build infrastructure for earthquakes.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Like 1,000 times that.
Yep, that exactly. More than that, like at risk of veering into weird territory, like
at this point, we're fearing into venturing into weird territory. That's something we were afraid of doing.
You'll see what I mean. Excelsius continents are beasts. They fight. They try and claim territory. They literally take chunks out of each other. They have kids. Yeah.
right.
I told you.
All right, she was being snarky.
The new continents, like of litters of Gur's continents, like bored into the Sea of Teeth. The Sea of Fangs is the sea that borders Excelsis.
Excellent.
Right? Like, yeah, it's just crazy. Gur is probably my favorite realm. It's just wild. Like,
So I'm so glad that it's not just the place where trees want to eat you. I can't believe I've only labeled it as such. What a disrespect I've been pulling to the place where the continents are alive and have kids.
Excelsis' military is like the main one that hasn't really adopted like Talia's reforms.
Of course not.
Because they just like can't.
They
Right?
can't.
Like,
There's no systemization here.
No.
In the place where the trees want to eat you and the continents have kids?
Yes. Excelsis can't support a standing military. Like, they don't have barracks. They don't have like all the like rank and file like stuff because that's a huge population of people who aren't actively like hunting for food.
Yeah.
Right. And so when Excelsis does need to rally its military, it is literally a like rally the tribes, like send a call to the great like hunting clans. Like, we need everyone with their javelins and great axes and bows and arrows to literally just come to the city of Excelsis to defend it.
Damn,
right?
yeah.
Like, very much a citizens militia in the style of like that's what a lot of cities of Sigmar were doing before Talia's reforms. So Gur's kind of almost weirdly clung to that just because out of necessity. Like, they just couldn't do the thing that the other cities are doing for the most part. The big reason for Excelsis existing, right? Beyond just the, like, there's definitely a point of pride of, like, we have a city on every realm, right? Like, that speaks to the reclamation effort. But other than that personal pride, like, why go to the effort of building a city on Gur? That's crazy. Like, it's the worst possible place to build a city. The big reason that they do it is because of a artifact off of the coast of Excelsis called the Spear of Malice.
Oh.
Malice, Mallus.
Okay.
Which is the canonical name of the world that was.
Oh.
Yes. We mentioned this early on. I don't know if it's a thing that is stuck in your mind.
It absolutely has not.
The remains of Malice.
No, I do remember that.
Yes, hang in the sky above Azir.
That's crazy.
Yes. Sigmar like was trapped on the planet all those eons,
his
like
dragon
flying
buddy
through
found
space.
him.
Yes. And a chunk of Malice broke off and landed in Gur.
Of course.
And that is the Spear of Malice. It is imbued with prophecy and foresight is part of like Azyrheim magic. And so it is imbued with that and has single-handedly created like a great city's tradition of what are known as glimmerlings.
Okay.
Which are like chunks of the Spear of Malice, like mined from its surface, that you can break to give yourself a momentary burst of foresight.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is break for Spidey sense. Like, it is.
Spidey sense. Yeah. Which feels like it'd be really useful on the Beast place.
Yes. Like, it began as like a Gur exclusive thing. Like before there was a city of Excelsius, there were Gurish tribes who had this unique power that no one could figure out of like incredible like instinct.
Yeah.
Because they were taking glimmerlings off the Spear of Malice.
Yeah.
Once the city got established, Spear of Malice is like the main reason Excelsius continues to exist. They mine glimmerlings from the surface. Those are now distributed to the entire like command core of cities of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Because like absolutely being able to give yourself just a
useful.
burst of like instinct and foresight is incredibly valuable. But yeah, Excelsius rips. The Knights Excelsior are the storm hosts there. They're also a little bit of like a really intense storm host, but some of it's like a little bit ill-earned. There's like a thing with mind control that I'm not super well read up on that I know, where they like did some bad stuff, but it was like a Xinjiang plot, I think.
Oh.
And it's like a whole thing. But
It's a whole thing.
yeah, we're not going to go into it now. 2 more to go.
Ooh,
Settler.
What could I order?
Oh, yeah.
I thought the thing I pictured immediately when I was like, "Oh, we're in Gur," I pictured the massive rack of ribs that the Flintstones order in the theme intro for every episode. That just flips the car on its side. 'Cause
That's
it's so big.
Literally what I was about to say.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's so much the like Gur is the place where even the vegetation is animal. So like it's definitely the like
Maybe they have a great barbecue culture.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
definitely the huge rack of ribs. It's definitely it's the thing that Lethis is doing where everyone is coming together, because even more than the other cities, I would
have a
argue.
great dry rub.
Yeah,
Oof.
even more than the other cities, I would argue Excelsis is just almost more of just like a meeting point for the various like independent clans and tribes of Gur. And so all of that, like I imagine that most of the time the city is kind of boring, and when it's under threat and like all the clans and tribes are together and stuff, there's got to be the equivalent of like a Gurish chili cook-off that happens every time they get together.
Just massive
right?
bonfires. And that sounds great. Oh, yeah.
Right. Let's talk about the Hish city.
Let's go.
We've already talked about it a little bit. It's Settlers Gain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Zintil, the central nation of Hish. It's where they hold the Olympics.
Yeah.
Settlers Gain is a, quote, beautiful powder keg.
Okay.
Yeah. The city is set up like the realm, where it's this like big spoked wheel. The center of the city is the Lumineth districts, where all of the grand like spires and institutions of learning and stuff, and like all the big important like Lumineth governors and whatnot live. And the other, quote, simple districts.
Oh, no.
Where everyone else lives. All surround the central district.
I would rather live in the place where the trees want to eat you and the continents have kids. As soon as you tell me it's called the simple district, man, hashtag eat the rich. Fuck you all. What the fuck is this?
So Settlers Game's name comes from the fact that it was originally like kind of a small farming settlement. It actually got like retrofitted into being like a big city after the Lumineth kind of like re-exerted their power in the realms. It was just a like, well, the city already has an extant population. Having like a collaboration city with Sigmar would be good politic.
Yeah.
And so we are going to like basically like just elevate Settlers Gain into being like a big city of Sigmar.
Okay.
Settlers Gain was not as hard fought as the other cities.
No.
Because it was like a collaboration with the Lumineth, basically. Yeah. But in that, the Lumineth have been Lumineth about it. Where the new, like, more chill Lumineth, but still
Lumineth.
Like, one of the bits of that is that Settlers Gain is like what the city is called. Everyone who lives there calls it Settlers Gain, except for the Lumineth, who refuse to call it by such a like simple agrarian name. They don't think it's grand enough, and so have anointed it Yulrai Zen is their name for it. A name that literally no one uses.
I have to get out. Oh my god. No, I'm this whole time I just picture myself like with a little backpack, and I'm like going on a big hike, visiting all the cities. It's my like 6 month like between, I don't know, my gap year. I have to leave this place immediately. I got my little backpack on and I'm fucking out of here. How did I end up here on Hish? No, fuck off. I made a mistake.
It's very much because we had the Tempest Lords, who are the Tempest Eye folk, who were here in Settlers Gain for a long time, who were overseeing the city as it was originally founded. But like as relations improved with the Lumineth, they were like, hey, we're gonna like hand over just like governance of the city to you guys because you're already running everything else in the realm, like, and we trust you, and like you can just like hold down the fort here because we have other stuff that we can be doing. Yeah, and like handed like the governance of Settlers Gain over to the Lumineth, and that's always the thing with Lumineth, right? Not in a malicious way, not in a like, ooh, we're gonna be like evil masterminds way, almost in an experimental way.
Interesting.
The Lumineth have been like, ooh, let's use this almost like a petri dish for like social unrest, where we can just kind of, you know, tweak a policy here and there, see how people react, try and create the perfect like society.
We're not going to test that on our stuff.
No, certainly not. But we'll do it in Settlers Gain.
Okay.
And as often happens with innovation, like Settlers Gain is a nice place to live. Okay. The Lumineth have done great work with like infrastructure and policy, and like everyone generally has a good quality of life. But with all innovation, eventually you hit a point where sabotage is more efficient than innovating new things. And so nowadays, when people aren't chill in Settlers Gain, it's not, ooh, let's reevaluate some policy. It's not like so and such, etc. It's, ooh, don't worry, you've committed a crime, but we're an enlightened, elevated society, so we don't have a prison here. You're just going to go in the crystal for, you know, like a week.
Going to be re-educated.
And then when you come out of the crystal, suddenly you don't want to do crime anymore. Isn't that lovely?
I need to leave.
Yep.
I need to leave this place.
Yep. Sometimes it's the crystal. Sometimes it's, and that's not like a euphemism. No. Like they're literally the crystals that hang around the towers in the central district.
Yeah.
Like Sometimes that's people going on sudden spiritual journeys.
Oh, cool.
Sometimes that's it's never because it is morphed into this thing where actually having to like be punitive would express a failure on the part of the Lumineth running Settlers Gain. Now it's just we're quietly making it not a problem
instead of addressing the disharmony.
Yes.
And addressing the actual cause of why an individual or a group may be unhappy. We'll just make it so you don't feel that way anymore.
Yep. Perfectionism is the great like anchor of the Elvish people.
I don't care how cool your fucking wind and mountain spirits are. I'm leaving this place. In this scenario, I am a human person.
Yep.
I can't stay here in the elf world.
Settlers
I gotta go.
Settlers Game is just a mix of all of the like quote unquote happy dystopias of fiction, right? It's The Giver, right? Where everyone in The Giver is having a great time until they learn about the babies that they throw in the dumpster, right? Like spoilers for The Giver. Sorry,
spoilers for The Giver, guys.
That's Settlers Gain, right?
Yep.
Like, I don't often make like strong predictions of this podcast, except for all the Earth Phoenix stuff with Tyrion, but hear me out. I think Settlers Gain, if there's going to be something bad happens to another city, I think Settlers Gain's next on the docket.
That makes sense.
I think Settlers Gain is a powder keg, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just rife for the stuff the Lumineth are doing coming to light and everyone taking it really bad, understandably, and the whole thing blowing up in the otherwise like relatively safe realm of Hysh.
Yeah.
Right? Like that feels like an inroad into Hysh.
This would be interesting. Is it going to be like what happened in Hammerhal where just like chaos took hold, or is it going to be actually just conflict between the people that live there without the need of like an outside influence?
I think it's going to be both.
Okay.
Partially because I've buried the lead a little bit.
Because
we do get narration from a like Tzeentchian cultist operating out of Settlers Gain.
There we go.
But,
yeah.
Like, unlike Hollow Heart, which I feel like was broadly chill, there is like genuine that's like the kind of narration behind that discussion is that there is genuine unrest in Settlers Gain that is very easy to twist into bad stuff.
So what am I gonna get? Well, I gotta eat something while I'm waiting for my flight to get the fuck out of here.
Settlers Gain gives very like English countryside, like it's very much like
Toast
I always
and beans.
picture those like the little like patchwork fields of like the English countryside, or almost like a Welsh for some reason. So yeah, I'm picturing like a nice like a shepherd's pie, or like like some peas and like a baked good with some kind of meat in it,
a big scone.
Yeah, absolutely, very like English breakfast, probably tea. Like a nice Earl Grey.
Oh, I do like an Earl Grey. Well, that's not true. I like a London fog. Do not just serve me a straight Earl Grey. That is so aggressive.
You heard it here
such
first.
Such an abrasive tea. Like, I need it hit with honey, I need it hit with vanilla, and I need it drowned in steamed milk. I'm not out here. I got 3 different Earl Greys in my cabinet downstairs. I'm not drinking those raw. It's London fog or nothing.
Settlers Gain. It's gonna explode probably. Something's
and I'm
bad's
not
gonna
be
happen
there
at Settlers
for it. Bye.
Yep. The last city on our list, and I already know what the food is. I'm very excited about this
yay!
because I've already thought about it. The last city on our list, and one I'm very excited to talk about because I think it's super fun, is Misthaven.
Ooh, what a cute name! I'm into it. Okay.
It's spelled crazy because it's Mistha with the like 2 umlaut dots over the top.
Okay.
VN. Misthaven.
You lost a fucking vowel. You left her somewhere. Go find her.
Go get your E, girl.
Go get your E, girl.
Misthaven is the pirate city of Olgu.
Fuck yeah. Pirates, let's go.
Very much like Pirate Cove. It is a permanently fog-shrouded city.
Let's go.
Just the magic of Olgu manifests there as like this dense like ocean fog. Like you can picture the like lighthouse lamp just barely piercing through it, where you can just see the like yellow circle, but the actual beam doesn't like cut anywhere.
I'm picturing the start of Pirates of the Caribbean and Walt Disneyland.
Yeah.
Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Like, yeah, that's what I'm picturing. The misty, spooky part. Where our friend Dylan, who grew up in the Caribbean, once said, yeah, when I went as a kid and I was really confused because it's like, there's no mist in the Caribbean. This is not what it's like.
The big unique thing about the city of Misthaven is that there are no permanent structures in the city of Misthaven. It is entirely
Shadows.
built out of the remains of crashed ships and lashed together current ships.
This is so cool.
It's so cool.
This is so cool.
It's Venice. If Venice's streets were made out of boats.
Yes.
Where like, and because it is like still a city, right? But it's just like the difference between like your house and your neighbor's house is you're not crossing streets. You are like walking across one deck onto the deck of a different ship.
And you're constantly on the water.
Yes,
Everything
yes.
is constantly moving.
Yes. You have like I said, all the captain's quarters that had just had like a wall knocked out, so because they connect directly to like the back of a different ship, and so you can just walk straight through to the next one and like hop the little like gangplanks that everyone has lashed between the like decks of these boats.
Oh, this is so cool.
It's so
This
cool.
is so
I love
cool.
Misthaven. The crowning like thing of Misthaven is that my favorite detail is that Misthaven has a storm host, like most of the big cities. But to keep with the theme, they are also just on their own huge ship.
I know this is wrong, but they are pirates. They're not pirates, but I'm picturing them not in the typical like big Stormcast
Right.
armor, but like they're dressed like a fucking fleet. No, they just look like a British Navy, right? Because they're still
they're
Stormcast, so they gotta be uniform.
They have the Stormcast armor, but the Celestial Warbringers is their like host. And they definitely have like a higher than average population of Vanguard Chamber, which are the like lightly armored scout force of the Stormcast. Celestial Warbringers' thing is that they are exclusively recruited from Olguian tribe who get visions of their own death. And they keep that as Stormcast, which is crazy because they see not their like final death, like the death that would turn them into a lightning geist, but any potential future deaths.
Yeah.
Like just
they can just have.
Yeah. Like, and that's.
Is it the most immediate one, or could be 3 deaths down the road?
I'm not sure. I think it's their most recent one because the rest aren't in like Potentia yet, right?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
And so they have like, again, Pirates of the Caribbean is going to be touched on here because they have like kind of weird like sea witch energy about themselves as like a storm host. Like they're a little bit creepy, a little bit, but like they're creepy, but they're also jovial. Yeah. Like their tribal culture is very much a like, I know the day I'm going to die, I can do anything.
Yeah.
Like I can just be alive and free and experience the world. And they definitely bring like the Celestial Warbringers are like out here dancing on the decks of the ships alongside like the people of Misthaven and engaging in drinking competitions and like very much engaged in that like shady kind of pirate like culture of the city of Misthaven. Yeah. Because like don't get it twisted, Misthaven is a smuggler's town.
Yeah.
It is a like crime metropolis.
Someone stole the E.
Yeah.
That's where she went. Someone literally stole it.
But yeah, like so the Celestial Warbringers, like they just kind of overlook it. Because they're like, like this is also civilization. This is also community. Like, is there smuggling? Is there like all these things that are technically crimes?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but like we're at war and it's like the thing that unites these people in this like culture is this like strange
as long as it's not chaos, then
yeah,
it's fine.
If anything, Misthaven represents that kind of like people being together and like building things together is what civilization is, even when it doesn't fit the mold.
Yeah,
right. Like this weird intertwined like system of like pirate royalty and like connections and like the crews all intermingling with each other and stuff is still civilization. Like, and that is also worth defending, even if it's messy, right?
Yeah.
Misthaven's another one that doesn't have like, it hasn't adopted like the Vedra like reforms for their military stuff because Misthaven's military is like the alliance of like pirate captains. Like, if people try and attack Misthaven, they aren't met with like an army force. They are met with like ships scuttling out to like blast them with their cannons. Like individual pirate captains raising the funds and men to like go fight off the forces of chaos to keep their port safe. Like, and again, they don't do it out of the goodness of their hearts. They do it out of the keeping the port safe.
There's no treasure to be found if chaos kills everyone.
Yeah, and that, but again, like, at what point does that blend together? It's like, yeah, they aren't doing it out of the goodness of their own hearts. They're doing it so the city stays safe, just like a lot of people who sign up for, like, defending the city.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that rips. I just love the picture of, because the Scryer's Ark is the Stormkeep ship, and it's described as like a World War like II style ironclad.
Whoa,
like
okay,
it is this huge, intimidating vessel, but it is just surrounded by like this lashed patchwork of like traditional sailing pirate ships.
Damn.
Which rips. I love it so much. I am so certain that we're gonna get a plot point at some point of like, oh no, things are fucked. We have to like cut Misthaven loose, and then we'll just get the floating city of Misthaven, because it is currently stationary, right? Because it's lashed to like crashed ships and stuff. But I think that would rip. Like, it'd be a big
floating
fan
city
of
of Misthaven kicks ass,
right? But those are our big, like, super famous cities. Like, there are others that I didn't mention here. Like I said,
what am I getting in Misthaven?
Oh, you're getting like the best seafood you've ever had in your life.
Which
obviously
is a bummer for me, who really doesn't like anything that lived in water.
Listen, it's gonna be like.
But I will when I'm there. I'm sure I will. It's like the one time I had mahi-mahi on Hawaii that I probably watched get caught off of a boat that I was on earlier that day, and I'm like, this is pretty tight. So I'm sure I'll be fine.
It's very like, I can picture so vividly like the food of Misthaven, because it's so bad for you in like a way that makes it good. Yeah. Right? Like, you are like, chef from Treasure Planet is going to serve you like a fillet of fish that he personally like dunked in an entire barrel of like lard that morning and like deep fried, and it's going to be incredible, and it is going to immediately kill you of heart disease. Like that is the like, that has to be the food culture of Misthaven. You're gonna wash it down with a big barrel of rum. Like,
of course that's the pirate captain.
Yes. I know, but
I know you know. I just need our listeners to know, like, we know the chef is also fucking captain. God, Silver? No.
Yeah, because it's Treasure Island.
Yeah, and so Captain Silver. Yep. I was just having it because Long John Silver's. Okay, and I was just like convinced that couldn't be right. So just
he starts as the chef, like, and he's got the jovial. Yeah,
no, you're
like,
right. You're not wrong. I was just like, we're gonna describe the pirate captain in Treasure. Yes, he's disguised as pretending, and he's a pretty good chef, I think. Yeah. He looks like he's at least having fun, which I do think is an important qualifier of a chef. I hope you're at least having fun.
I think it's important that you aren't going to get anything in Misthaven that qualifies as a vegetable. Like, it's entirely like battered fish. Like, but it's going to be so good.
You get fish and chips.
Yes.
And potato barely counts.
Certainly, yes.
Excellent. And then wash it down with some rum.
Yep, 100%. But yeah, those are the big cities. Those are the, like I said, there's some like Brightspear. I just don't feel confident talking on because I haven't read much about it. And there's definitely like other cities that have been important at like various times in the lore. But these are the big ones that I feel are worth getting time in our already 2 hours long episode. Over 2 hours long episode.
Hey, Dalton, remember when we were 3 cities in and you said, it's not going to last this long?
Yeah.
And I was like, Dalton, we've been doing this for a while. I think that people... Hey, I'm not going to apologize for recording for a long time. This is what you're here for, right, gang? This is not an outlier. You're here to have something on the background while you're painting minis.
Yeah.
Or doing your dishes. Or vacuuming.
Yeah. So,
like, we're glad we gave you a thing where you didn't have to think about, now I got to stop what I'm doing to find a new thing.
Yeah.
Like, I hope y'all enjoy this food tour. I know I did. I'm so hungry.
Oh, no.
I'm so hungry. I need to go eat.
Well, without further ado, I have been your Fusel Major, Dalton Montgomery.
And I'm Darian Smart, and now I have a cat in my lap.
Ooh, swapsies. Have a wonderful evening.
Take care, everybody.